this age that we're in, all of us students here, we're quoted as teenagers. And my question would be that as teenagers, it is really difficult for us sometimes to comprehend and navigate through our emotions, especially as a lot of these emotions that we feel are really unfamiliar and new to us. And we end up thinking, oh, my problems are much bigger than what they actually are. So what advice would you give to all of us here?
It is very, very probable, almost 100% certain, that what any of us will have in our surroundings, in our vicinity, will be dwarfs. We are all born probably to be mediocre. Greatness is a rare thing. Greatness has to be earned. Books is where you will find those who could just ignore the petty and little things of life. And you look at them and you see what all they stood through, what all they took in their stride. You look at the challenges that they happily endorsed, and then you look at your own troubles. And what do you find? You find your troubles are tiny, puny. And then you say, I don't need to give too much attention to my troubles. Look at this one in the book. And I'm not talking of fictitious figure here. We are talking of real people who have lived, breathed, and died on this planet.
Greetings, Acharya sir. I'm Navami. I'm a student of class 12. And I would feel that, this age that we're in, all of us students here, we're quoted as teenagers. And my question would be that as teenagers, it is really difficult for us sometimes to comprehend and navigate through our emotions, especially
Through our emotions.
Navigate through our emotions, what we're
Emotions,
feeling.
yeah.
Especially as a lot of these emotions that we feel are really unfamiliar and new to us. And we end up thinking, oh, my problems are much bigger than what they actually are. So what advice would you give to all of us here?
Thank you. Very pertinent question. See, until you have seen the Himalayas, even the little hillock in your backyard, appears like Mount Everest. You get this? The mistake that we make as young people is that we take our surroundings as the universe, and we take tradition as the truth. We feel that if something is not visible in our surroundings, it probably does not exist at all. And the way the human species is, it is very, very probable, almost 100% certain, that what any of us will have in our surroundings, in our vicinity, will be dwarfs. And that's not an insult to the society that we have around us. That's the fundamental human condition. That's the fundamental human condition. We are all born probably to be mediocre. Greatness is a rare thing. Greatness has to be earned. And very few people display the commitment to rise to greatness. Consequently, what you will usually find yourself amidst is a large number of very small people. What you'll usually find all around you is a large number of small people. And the mistake that you make is that you start thinking that what's near you is universal. So you have somebody around you, and for this person, and this fellow is a senior, you are 15 or 17 or 18, a teenager, and this fellow could be 40 or 60. He appears experienced, respectable. And you're seeing that even for this fellow, some petty matter becomes huge. And he is totally engaged with it, totally consumed by it. So what do you start thinking? You start thinking that this petty thing is indeed something so significant, something so colossal, that it deserves this kind of consideration and attention. Because that's what you find people doing all around you. Are you getting it? No. We said greatness is rare. So go to the rare ones. And those rare ones, by definition, will be rarely found around you. You will have to make special efforts to go to them. It is an extremely rare thing to find the rare one right next to you. And that rare event should actually not happen, because when the rare one is right next to you, then for you, he ceases to be rare. And then you turn kind of indifferent or even contemptuous. You say, he's right here. How can he be the rare one? So it's best then to go to the rare ones through their works, specifically books. Books is where you will find those who could just ignore the petty and little things of life. And you look at them and you see what all they stood through, what all they took in their stride. You look at the challenges that they happily endorsed. And then you look at your own troubles. And what do you find? You find your troubles are tiny, puny. And then you say, I don't need to give too much attention to my troubles. Look at this one. Look at this one in the book. And I'm not talking of a fictitious figure here. We are talking of real people who have lived, breathed, and died on this planet. Look at them. But they won't be found in the neighborhood. It's going to be very difficult if you look for these figures in the neighborhood Khannaji or Tauji. Difficult. Not maybe impossible, but the probability is like 1 upon Avogadro's number. Are you getting it? If you do not come in touch with, as they talk of in Hindi, the Koop Manduk, the frog in the well. What does he know of the ocean? If you have not known the ocean, at least know those who have known the ocean. At least you'll have some idea of the ocean, and that will maybe encourage you to leave your own little well one day and move towards the ocean. Otherwise, the petty affairs of the little well will consume you totally. And that's a grave danger. All these little petty things of daily life. Getting it? I have to buy a new shirt. The vehicle is to be serviced. I'm not saying these things must not be done. These things must be done, but it must also be remembered that these are very trivial things. The vehicle needs to be serviced. Somebody uttered a bad word to me. Some wedding is approaching, so I must get new clothes for myself. I didn't get enough likes on my last Insta post. Nothing is enough. Nothing is enough. But when you are with the greats through their work, through documentaries made on them, through their biographies, through their autobiographies, then you realize what life really is about. Then you feel like standing in front of the real Mount Everest and saying, here is where the earth meets the sky. Yes, without reading, you will be consumed. The world is such that it will suck you in and destroy you.
Good afternoon, Prashant sir. My name is Anugrah. So my question is for you is that today's generation, while being exposed to internet, is making certain choices that will affect them in the future. For example, their lifestyle, like they want to flaunt it, like you have said earlier in your speech only. So how does one navigate through this without getting affected by their surroundings, what others are doing?
No, you can get affected by what others are doing, but those others have to be worthy others. Worthy others. You don't need to be influenced by every Tom, Dick, and Harry. But fortunately for you, We are a species that keeps records, details, accounts of history. And since we are in the 21st century, post-Christ, we have more than 3,000 years of history of greats available to us. Allow them to have an impact on you. Why not go to the great scientists or athletes or artists or even warriors, philosophers? Why not go to them? Why not sit in their company? Why is it a compulsion on you that you must be only around your Insta community? I'm asking you, even that is virtual, right? Will you ever physically see all the people who have liked your posts? No. Even they are virtual, right? And if you have to deal with virtual people, why not deal with the greats of the past? They didn't do it necessarily for themselves, whatever they did. So many of them wanted nothing really from the world because they were already all right. They are already fulfilled and joyful doing what they did and living how they lived. But they still left very detailed accounts for you because they loved you. Because they knew that it would not be easy for you to find something comparable to what they had found. So they left behind their accounts, their stories. It's like inheritance, real inheritance, not the kind of material inheritance that we get from parents and grandparents, not that. Something much, much beyond that. They left it in their love for your sake. Getting it? Allow them to leave an imprint on you. Great books, that's what you need. Allow yourself to be inspired. Do not bear the tyranny of the immediate. Because these are my classmates, so I have to be with them. Not necessary. These are the kind of people in my society. What do I do? Jeena to inhi ke saath hai. Not necessarily. For some practical reasons, yes, we have to be with the people around us because we are social people, obviously. But then internally, you can choose to be in your own elevated world. Getting it? Externally, maybe you'll be sitting with your immediate surroundings. Yes. Externally, sometimes that is unavoidable. But internally, you can be in very noble, very august company. Let that happen. I use the word tyranny. Why should the external be compulsorily allowed to become internal? Why should the external be allowed to dictate the environment within? Outside of me, there might be all noisy people, all petty people, all selfish people. But why should I allow them to penetrate my heart and occupy a very central position here? No. Yes, you can keep sitting outside. I'm just a student, class 11th, class 12th. I don't have much resistance to offer when it comes to the external situation, but my internal situation will be my own decision. This internal province, I will be the king. And I choose to raise this internal thing to a high point. Even if all around me is chaos and noise and littleness and meanness, yet see who I am really with. I am really with someone. Yeah, that's one of the probably the only ways possible. Because getting great company of living people may take time. It's not impossible, but it's not always easy. It may take time. You don't need to wait till then. Give yourself the right books.